Hey, welcome everybody. It's sort of a special bonus edition of Battle Pirates Crib. The reason I put this show together is we have a really long and complicated prize list from the raid. And some of them, there's some, appears to be, for a lot of people, there's some tough decisions to be made. And so I posted on the right-hand side the link for the Hangout. And the way I'm going to do it, if the show does fill up, what I'm going to do is I'm going to kick out the person that has the most points. At this point, I think it's Mike.
Okay, I'll just hang up now.
No. I'm just saying if it fills up, because this is about people that want to ask questions associated with what to claim in the raid, and you can claim fucking everything. And so what I'm saying is, to help the community better,
I would offer to give up my spot if it fills up, but I didn't get that far.
Okay, it's all good. But that's the point of. I mean, I think we wanted to get two things accomplished in this show, because this show is going to have a very short. I want to say this at the beginning: a very short shelf life. We're going to talk about two things, like what to claim in the raid, and also what to try to do before VXP weekend with your Buccaneers or your Cannoneers or whatever. And so I really want to hear from people, that are viewing us now, and, put your questions forward and whatnot, or, come on the show and we'll discuss, because, like I said, or no, I didn't. I said that in the pre-show, is a lot of these people on the show have a zillion points. And, a lot of them have a lot of good advice to give, but they're not in the same situation that some people that are watching the show may be in. But, it's because I still have, and I'm willing to listen to what everybody has to say. I still have, I didn't get everything. All I've gotten so far is the Buccaneer, King's Writ, and then the special and the weapon for the, I still have 230 million points to spend. And that's the way, personally, I like to do it across the board, is I like to accumulate, I like to buy what I need to start building at that point in time. And then I wait until the release notes come out, figure out what's in the FM, and try not to make mistakes early on with my builds. The other point in time where we're going to learn something is VXP weekend, because we're probably going to see a preview for probably some crazy version of the S target, and we'll learn more how to build our ships at that point. And some more, what we'll try to talk about is safe builds, like what to put on your ship right now that you won't have to take off in the future. So I don't know. So you guys are welcome to join us, and I'm hoping Ren popped in from this link. So I'm assuming the link I put out is working. Because Hangouts has been a little bit weird recently as far as the links that you put into YouTube and how they work. So, well, I guess the thing I'm supposed to do at this point is like ask everybody how their raid's doing, and I'm assuming, looking around, I'm assuming they're going quite well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No?
Yeah.
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 Okay. Well, I guess we can talk about current thoughts on the raid before we move on, in case people want to jump in and ask. Go ahead, Jeff.
It's boring.
Very much so.
Yeah, it's boring because of the number of points that we need to get. If you only needed to get, let's say you only need to get 100,000 points. It's not boring, right?
No.
Well, yeah, but I mean, it's a combination, not just the points, it's the size of the freaking targets.
But I also think the targets are broken across the board, because I think, like we talked about on the previous show, I think the target was intended to have the corrosive clouds destroyable like it was at the beginning. And all the targets, it provides a lot more options, because I thought, the previous iterations of these targets were more interesting. These ones are pretty boring, because there's not a lot of places to there's one place on each one to trap ships in order to sort of manage the ships that are coming at you and sort of take advantage of them. And there's limited places where you can, because even on the Fangtooth, nobody really took advantage of it before they got rid of it. But the fact that if you look at the Drax Scourge war that's going on prior to you really engaging anything, would have destroyed most of that central island, most of that central corrosive cloud, and provided you more options on how you would maneuver your ships. But you're really limited at this point. You can either go high or low, or try to go high and then sneak through them on the Fangtooth target. But then you run into the whole point in time where you got the glitch associated with them being too close to the wall. It just seems to lack. It seems to be lacking relative to the previous targets, in my opinion.
I'll agree with you, because in the previous targets, you could use some strategy. You could get clouds blown up so they get out of your way. You could take and blow up. You could have, even without the Drax being in there, you could still have the Glut blow up the other ships. Just by driving right, you could drive them through the clouds, and they take damage. Through the clouds plus through the bombardment from the Gluts, and they take damage. But this raid series, no, it's not working.
Yeah, it's just a matter of specific pathing as far as trying to maximize, with the Fangtooth, at least maximizing the amount of space that you have available. And, it's just, but I would have found that fun. I would have found that interesting. And I've noticed that, things have changed associated with that. But, David or Ren, you got anything?
O meu chefe sugeriu que eu tirasse a semana toda, que ele falou que é uma semana morta, parada, com um monte de gente tá tirando de fogo. Depois de fevereiro e março, eu preciso tirar férias.
I've had too much to drink, I think.
I think so too. And I'm not even drinking.
He's busting in Portuguese.
Não dia, por exemplo, se precisar, entendeu? Eu tenho 5. Eu tô tirando 2, tá sobrando 3.
Wrong show, Ren.
Mas se eu precisar, eu posso tirar. A SEA tem uma política que não tem limite de férias. O cara já me falou. Ele só falou assim: eu não quero ninguém tirando férias no último mês de trimestre. Ele falou, mas. Mínimo mandatório, mas você pode tirar
in Portuguese. That's why we can't understand what he's saying. I'm going to mute him at this point, just in case somebody understood what he was saying and it was inappropriate in Portuguese. So.
That's funny right there.
So, David, how is your raid going? And don't start speaking in Portuguese.
Actually, this is probably the best raid I've had in 3 years.
Okay, why?
I've got an actual fleet that'll actually do something. I've got 5 hunters. I don't have the Apex, but I've got 5 fully built hunters. I'm doing the Hunter Bay over and over and over again, and I've got just short of 120 million total.
Now, are you autoing it or are you driving?
I'm driving. Yeah, I take a little bit too much damage if I auto it. Yeah. I've got it down to between 1 and 2 coin per, which is a lot, for compared to what a lot of people are doing. They're doing the bigger targets for that, but for me, I'm doing awesome. So
Well, no, now you think about it, though. That's still 5 million points for 1 or 2 coins. You're
1.
still below
1.73.
How much?
1.73.
Oh, you're doing the smaller one.
Yeah, the Hunter Bay. Yeah.
But I thought you could only do that 3 times.
He's resetting it at the end, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's not killing the whole thing and not getting the bonus.
Yeah, I'm not killing the whole thing. You get 2 million points if you kill the whole thing. If you leave one of the gluts and then abort the mission, it doesn't count.
Oh, okay.
And I did that last raid. I'll tell you what, it's boring. It's really boring over and over again. Figure
Yeah,
1 point.
really, that's not a bad strategy. If you think about it, you're in the sweet zone. You know, because we've always told Kickside that we want it to be 1 million points for 1 point.
Right.
So
and
you're in that
it's been a long time since I've been able to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So.
But again, I've you haven't been on the show for a while. But that 1 million per gold was before they jacked the prices up times.
Yeah,
so
that's
right
true.
now, I think that same number is about 8 million per gold. Just based on the escalation that they've done in the inflation of prices. And that's mainly due to not really the weapon or the special or anything else. It's just due to the price of the charged armors. It's just been crazy because right now you need 120 million just to get the charged armors, and there's nothing close to it. You can get the hope for 20. So yeah, you can get 6 hopes for. Well, you can't really get 6 hopes, but it's charged armor prices they need to get in line, but it really changes the whole economy. As far as the gold per points, so
it shouldn't be a limited item. I don't think. I think limited items are just dumb to have in the game.
It should have been a limited item when it was. I think it was 10 hours to build before, or 8 hours, or 10 hours, 8 to 10 hours to build. Now that it's a day and a half, I agree with you. It shouldn't be a limited item at that cost. The cost, both in raid points and in build time, is beyond belief, and they're needed. I mean, there's no two ways about it. They're not a luxury item, and 12 million. I just can't believe they went back to that.
Yeah.
The armor should never be a limited item. I don't care what anybody wants to say. They should never be a limited item because there's something that every player in this game, if they want to play any of it, has to have.
Yeah. That's it. Components, ships can be limited, but the components themselves, I don't think should be limited. I'm getting an echo.
No.
Yeah, someone's got their YouTube on still.
Oh.
No, I think I got that taken care of. No, maybe not.
No, but I'm still hearing the echo.
Let me see. I'm hearing again. Maybe it's somebody else. Yeah, it is somebody else.
I just refreshed.
You got your tubes on? I'm sorry. I'm all right. No noise.
It's still there.
Yeah, still there. I went completely out of YouTube, so.
Yeah. I'm not sure exactly where the noise is from, but I'll blame Ren. But he's still off talking Portuguese to some girl on the phone. But it's all good for Ren. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that sort of let the show off. Yeah, it's not. I think it's TV. It's not. Synergy is saying that it sounds like somebody's listening to TV in the background.
Well,
I don't.
Or somebody listening to some sort of manga porn thing in the background.
No.
Mine's on mute.
I'm in.
You're saying nobody's doing that, Daniel?
No one's doing that.
Mine's on mute. Can't be able to hear that.
It's manga ninja porn. That's what it is.
That was okay, right?
I'm just busy myself hitting targets for no good reason.
Okay.
What about you on the global?
Where the noise is coming from. How are you doing, Chris? How's your raid going?
Yeah, my raid's going great, mate. 17th in global. In my world, in the world 200s, 5th. In my sector, I'm 1st. I'm happy. Best raid ever.
Okay. I'm curious.
And I've spent no bloody coin as well.
Yeah, I'm curious. It's like midnight your time. Did you dress up for the?
Say that again, mate.
I said it's midnight your time. You didn't just get off work. Did you dress up for the show?
I'm at work. That's why I'm in my suit. I'm at work, mate.
Okay. Just checking.
I've got nobody in this building, mate. I'm at work.
Okay. I was just curious with the the suit jacket and shirt. I was just curious, what was going on there. Oh, good.
Best raid ever, mate. Best raid. I'm not having fun hitting people who are hitting my friends.
Okay, I'm gonna turn your volume up a bit, but because you're a little bit low. Go ahead again.
I'm just hitting people now who are hitting my friends. Just having a
okay. You've gone rogue. You're just hitting. You're hitting at this point because you got all your points.
Well, I'm not. I'm only hitting people who hit my friends because my friends are taking the 80s, 85s, and the 83s. I found that the 83s you can run around the 83s as well. Get the gluts out of the 83s.
Okay.
You can do it in the 89s as well. So I've been doing a lot. It's like also I can do the hunter. If I had any hunters, you can actually do the hunters with one fangtooth, one phantom fangtooth.
Oh, I saw that video. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's tricky.
If I had any hunters, I'd be able to do the trophy hunter, but I ain't got any. So.
Yeah, I think that video makes it look easy because one of the things about videos. That's why, like, one of the things that we try to do on the show at times is like when something looks too easy, it's like, okay, let's do it.
It's quite hard.
George and I've done this myself. We're like, okay, let's do this live. Because sometimes some of that stuff, people are doing it, they do it 10 times and you get the video for one of them.
Yeah. See, it took me 3 times. That was the only coin I spent on the raid. It took me 3 times to get my phantom, my fangtooth to run round exactly the same way he did. And to get it down.
I think it was a cheat.
No. You used the fangtooths to take. You used the hunt.
No. I'm saying I think it was a she that did that thing with the fangtooths.
Oh, with the one phantom fang to just activate the ships and let the hunters kill them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a girl. Yeah, and she did a great job.
Yeah.
But
also, I found I also think if you got that, if you actually put the acceleration as well. The combat acceleration, it will be a hell of a lot easier with turning speed 4. Meg freeze, turning speed 4. You just make a build just for that. That'll be a hell of a lot easier. But it's just means refitting or coining it out. It's like, what's the fucking point? It's the end of the raid.
Yeah. Ren, how's your raid? Because I sort of want to. At some point, in the next couple of minutes, I want to move towards, they don't do that in Canada, but, the people in America, like Selection Sunday, which we do for college football, college basketball, like, how do we, what are the best choices with your points that you have? And that's that's sort of what I wanted to do with the show. But at this point, we're talking about, because I'm not sure what, I muted you because you were having a phone conversation in Portuguese, and it was really like.
Yeah, I'm sorry, my mistake.
I muted you because I was afraid somebody understood Portuguese, and understood what you were saying. So we had no idea what was going on, but somebody maybe understood what you said. So no, there was no problem. It was just sort of I muted you for your own benefit.
Thank you.
No problem. But how's your raid going? What do you think about the raid targets, especially as far as? I mean, because I think you were gone at that point. Because I find them, relative to the previous 2 raids in this cycle, I find them lacking.
Oh, I heard you saying that. Like that part, I heard.
Okay. What do you think? What do you think about the raid targets? What do you think about the raid in general?
I mean, my opinion about raids in general is very consistent. They're overall something I just go through to get the prizes, but they're not. I don't really. You never hear me say, "Wow, that was fun," because even if the target's fun and well designed and well done, by the time you do them 45 times each, you just wanna, put a needle under your toenail just to feel something because we're just numb with boredom. Right?
Yeah, because you start playing your own game with these raid targets when you have to do them again. Like, okay, let's.
But I'll tell you something. I mean, the format worked really well for me because I have both fleets. And I know a lot of people resist and hate Kixeye for making us build both, which to an extent, it sucks, But by playing this way with the 2 fleets, it allowed me to, like, for instance, during the day when I'm at work, I can have the game open in a tab just for like 10 minutes, do 2 or 3, usually 2, of the Hunter Elite campaigns, right? And then it's damaged. So now I got I have 3 hours and a half of repairs. Dot, hit, repair, close game, back to work. It's kind of like my smoke break, if you will, right? 10 minutes. And I do that a few times during the day at work. So when I get home, now what I do is I drive the Fangs to match the hunters I accumulated during the day, and I get the bonuses. So having the ability to score points without really paying attention or playing hard and just like going in with the hunters, hitting twice and docking, very cool for me.
Well, you think that's boring, mate? I've hit the Fangtooth Void 192 times, going for 193 now.
That's extremely boring. I mean, especially because the Fang target takes me about 9, 10 minutes, 11 minutes to do each time.
I do it in 2 sets of 5 minutes.
So 10 minutes. So it's the same time I take. 1 set, 2 sets. I mean, but it's about 10 minutes each time, each campaign. So it's slow. It's boring. And I usually do them in small, short stints as well. I do 2 or 3, stop, go do something else, But it's working for me. In the end, I'm getting like a ton of points. I got all the prizes I really wanted. And now I'm down to stuff that's kind of nice to have because maybe one day I'll need, like Skirmish VXP tokens. I'm getting that now.
I got my Skirmish VXP token straight away because I needed to put some stuff on my Fangs.
Yeah, I didn't need them, so.
Yeah, you save them till next year when the next raid comes out.
Yeah, whenever. I mean, let's say I decide to build my Ghost Crawler, which I doubt. Anyway.
Oh, I got something to show you all actually. I'll quickly put it onto my screen. I'll show you something quickly. You're gonna laugh at me, but I think it might work. Alright. Here, have a little look at this one. I know what you're gonna say. Why are you going back to them and all this shite? But have a little look at this baby. Where is she? There she is. I've gone and put 4 of these mortar, 5 of these cannons on a pusher. Fits perfectly. And I'm gonna see if that can hit a Drac uranium, Drac base. I won't advise building it because obviously we haven't tested it. But if you've got a shite load of them and pusher tokens, then this works and you've got it all.
Yeah, it's a fun idea.
Anymore.
It's just a fun idea. That's all I say. It's like
Yeah.
If you've got retro 13, no 15 on each and everything, you got your combat speed at 41. Mine's at 12 at the minute though. So, but it could do it. Look at the damage on the pusher. But no, that's just me. But that goes out to Stegs.
I was muted.
Yeah, I was muted too. I don't know why.
You're muted again.
Yeah, mute everybody.
Dave, you're muted again.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you.
That's so weird.
So
Hey, Jeff's gone.
there's some people that can only get like 40 million points, and you know they've asked me. Some people have asked me like, what should I get? Like, should I get the hull or should I get the weapon and the special? I keep get the hull, right?
Yeah, get the hull. You're not going to be doing nothing. It's right.
This order: get the hull, the Buccaneer, then get the weapon.
Yeah.
The special is totally, entirely optional. I mean, it's not even in the build I've designed so far with what I know. I'm not even using that special.
Yeah, I haven't redeemed it yet, and I'm not going to until maybe next month when it comes out in the next raid or whatever, or in a TLC. I might get it then, but yeah, I'm not redeeming it. I'm not spending the points on it.
Well, I'm limited to what I can spend my points on, so I've obviously got it. But now I can start working on my base as well, because I didn't have nothing.
The problem with the new special is that it limits you. They basically limited for what you could put on it. A lot of the good specials, basically you can't use with it. So I fear it's going to end up just like Cannon System 4 that we got with the Cannoneer last year, that no one actually used it.
Unless the targets are tweaked to where those critical hits are necessary.
Yeah, but I mean, you can't. I don't think they could tweak a target for critical hits.
Well, they could. They just give it crap loads of bloody health.
Yeah, I mean that's exactly it. They give it crap loads of bloody health, and then if you don't get the critical hits, you're going to take way too much damage because it'll take too long to kill the target.
So here's one, right? How often is that special blast meant to happen on it? On the new gun?
Well, I've already been out testing, and it has the same glitch that the old acceleration cannon had. You can drive away from the target for a couple minutes and then turn around and strike, and all your cannons will fire the blast.
Yep.
Just like every couple of minutes, then.
Guaranteed. Yep. Just like remember the old cannon, how we used to do that? You could go into a target and just sit and let it run for, what was it, 2 minutes, and then charge the target, and you get the particle blast.
Yeah.
Yeah, this cannon's doing the exact same thing.
I think this time it's less because it's I think better reload.
Yeah, I haven't figured out what the exact time is required to get the guaranteed blast yet. But I've tested the mechanic, and the mechanic's working the same way.
Okay.
Is that what she said? But I'm going to post the link again for everybody in case they want to join the show. How many points do you have, Chris?
Mate, over 900. I'm like 17th global, mate.
Okay. Yeah, because I'm looking for some people that are looking for, they don't have the points to get everything. And like how to move forward.
No, see, I know most of the guys on the panel have said to get the Buccaneer if you can get it. But I'm going to be honest with you. I think first priority over the Buccaneer, I think people should focus on grabbing the weapon itself. Well, because if you can get that weapon and put it on another ship, you're guaranteed to be able to do B or C sets next raid.
Yeah. What about
if
the
you
weight?
Get the Buccaneer and put like the Millennium gun on it, though, you may not be able to do the A set with it.
When you talk, there's an echo. Somebody has the YouTube at the same time that they're talking or something. That whenever he talks, I hear the echo of his voice right after.
It's Dave. I think David has his TV on. I keep on muting him. It went away, right?
Yeah, it went away.
Yeah. David's got his TV on, somewhere in the room.
Okay.
The only thing I have up is YouTube or to go hang out.
Because I've got so many points. I've had people messaging me from other sectors because I'm like near enough chopping the road world as well. I'm more than likely gonna get that very soon. I've had people messaging me in other sectors saying, "Seeing you jumping so many points, do you mind giving me a helping hand?" I'm like, "What are you going for, first?" They're like, "Oh, I don't think I'm gonna get the book." I'm like, "I'm not helping you then. You get the stuff you need for the next raid. Otherwise, what's the point in helping them?"
Yep, exactly.
Yeah. And personally, I think the first priority is, I don't know if it's the weapon, but the charged armors, because we're going to see a TLC next week or the following, next week or the following week for the skill hall associated with this. And the charged armor needs to go on that as well. And personally, I wouldn't spend a huge amount doubling up on charged armors on the Buccaneer, because the Buccaneer is the ironclad. It's a fast ironclad. But I wouldn't spend a huge amount of time doubling up and maxing out my charged armor on this one until we see what's going to happen. Until we see.
I'm waiting for VXP.
Yeah, and VXP will see something. We'll see what the targets looks like, but we're not going to see it until we see what comes out in the TLC, because the TLC could have more charged armors on it. And
yeah, the fact, right? I mean, we don't know. Would, but the reality is, for people to get the top prizes in whatever TLC is going to come, they will need probably a good skirmish fleet, like top-notch skirmish fleet, to be able to do the TLC.
Fangs and hunters.
Yeah, but I mean, probably with the flagships. That's my point.
Yeah, if you ain't got them, you ain't going to do it. But if you ain't got the hunters, you're definitely not going to do it, because you can't kill the hunter trophy.
So that's the thing. What I'm trying to say is, if you can get the Buccaneer now and the cannon, get it now in the raid, because in the raid, your alliance can help you. You can pay a mercenary to help you. You can grind points, whatever. A TLC is a TLC, and it's very binary. Either you can do it, or you cannot do it, and nobody's going to help you, and that's it. You won't get a hull, and you're going to get stuck with what? Cannoneers and ironclads should do the raid, and then it's going to suck again. You know what I mean?
No, I completely understand what you're saying, Red, and that really makes sense. It's just, I just wish we knew, like, what week this was going to come out, and I completely agree with that point.
And the other thing is, if we don't know, if they don't add VXP tokens on the TLC, then the TLC comes after VXP weekend, and then even if you get steel hull, it's going to have 0 rank.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I'm still wondering if the Cannoneer is going to work, because there was the preview target, which I never saw, but a lot of times the preview targets are an S target that never actually shows up. It's
a prototype usually.
Yeah, but it's a prototype of like what's going to happen a couple of months from now, not the first thing that we see. And so I am curious if the Cannoneers are going to work well in the first go round, because if you look at the build token prices and some of the prices associated with the Cannoneer as far as build and BXP, they're expensive. They're not cheap.
Well, they're not cheap, but the problem is also that the weight of that new cannon and the damage that it does. I think that the Cannoneer and the Ironclad are going to be relegated to much lower targets, just because if you look at the damage output of that gun, and you can't fit them on the Cannoneer. I mean,
yeah, you can only fit a couple of them.
3. I mean, you can put 3 of those cannons, and all the other slots have to be empty.
I understand. I understand what you're saying based on the prices that they've got them in there. But let's look at Kick-Size history for the last year. Every raid they've come out at the first raids of the cycle and told us that whatever the hole we won the month before, and then the top hole from the last raid series of that equal thing was supposed to be the 2 best holes to use. Hence, like this raid, at the start of this raid, it was supposed to be the Fang Tooth, but you were supposed to also be able to use Hell Raid. You know what I'm saying? And they've never does that come true.
No, they've always said that you can use them just at a lower tier. So like if you had the Fang Tooth and then you had the Hellwraith, Hellwraith would do like B or C sets. They weren't going to do the A set and the S set.
So all they would do is 45s.
And at most, they can do the 60 somethings at best. I mean, that's been the pattern. I mean, Apollos can go past the 60s. Ironclads can, not Ironclads. Tideseekers can go past the 60s. I mean.
But the Citadels could in the Garrison target. Punishers and Citadels could run through the first month of the Garrison targets,
which probably was a mistake on their side, not intentional. If I were to bet,
I mean, it might have been that, or they might have specifically tuned that down because it was going to become the FM. I mean, that had a secondary nature to the whole raid set as well, And look, I'll say that I think Tideseekers, Insector Gadget got them to do A sets last raid.
Well, last raid when they made the 89 weaker, and I think they did it too now, the Tideseekers could actually kill 89s after they were made weaker.
Which is a good boost for people that are trying to get some.
Oh, it's huge. It's almost 1 million points per target, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's fantastic for people to get some of the prizes that they want to get.
Now, Jeff, can I make a point here?
Go ahead.
Okay, so I'm sharing my screen. I don't know if you want to show that for everyone watching.
Sure.
4 prizes on my screen have not been offered in, I think, over a year. Right? These are the panels for turrets. And I know people who care about base defense have been asking for them for many, many months. And I can't be precise about when they were last offered, but I think it was about a year or more ago. They were removed from FM and they were never seen again. So I'd say, and if people who care about base defense and don't have any of these 4 panels, the reinforcements for C, M, X, and R should definitely get that now, because it can be maybe a year before they're offered again. And makes a huge difference in your turret resistance. I mean, in building a base defense.
Yeah, and them as well. Just trying to figure out, are they expensive? I can't recall. But I can get the price list.
Million.
They're a million each.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing to consider too is that Kick-Size is a little bit inconsistent as to when they offer stuff. So, Run's got that stuff up there. We don't know when they're going to come out, and even when they start putting more PvP stuff out, we don't know if it's going to show up again either. Because like they have a whole bunch of PvP stuff in there now, but we don't see stuff like Agility 4, which is premium big right now for PvP, and yet we don't know when we're going to see it again. So that's a really good point right there.
Yeah.
And I'm saying because they're cheap, I know the point, but they're cheap. And again, over a year or about a year, without even in the 4 seasons of Bounty, these 4 specials, the 4 panels have not been offered.
I didn't even know we had D4 for base.
Yeah,
that's
since it's been offered.
I've not been on for over a year.
I've been looking for that for so long, and that was the first thing I took, just because I was afraid they were going to take it away.
No, there you go. See, I mean, Ron's there, so I'm not lying alone.
Yeah, I was there. I was in the same boat too.
Yeah, and the other issue, it sort of also leads to the fact that we have 2 defenders in this raid cycle. We have the Hope and the Omni Behemoth.
Well, but there's a reason for that. They wanted to get the Hope out so that they would have a chance to use it before it was wasted by the Tier 7 hulls. And then go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was moving on with that comment. It was, it's. Well, never mind. I mean, now,
well, look, it's the point is valid in that we don't know what's going to happen. In like a month, all this stuff might be absolutely useless. What we see on Tier 7.
Well, the way PvP is going, that's what's going to happen. Next bounty, we're going to see a new Conqueror hole, and it's going to walk everything. That's the way it's been.
But yeah, and I think George's point was good. I mean, personally, I think unless you're going to finish your Hope, have it as, I don't even know if you need to get it skulled, but if you're really interested about next bounty, get the Hope and build it first. If you're planning on long term, get the Omni Behemoth, because this is still going to boost the Tier 7 defenders and give them plus 35.
Yeah. The Behemoth class holes have been traditionally a long-standing good hole that we've been able to use for longer periods of time.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. You're adding plus 30
alpha. Except for the alpha.
I still got alpha on my base, but yeah, plus 35% damage on all the defenders that you have. So once we get the Tier 7s, because it has 500,000 armor, it's got really good deflections. It may not be an offensive haul, but it's definitely a good support haul. And so, yeah, I would. I mean, it really depends on how you build. But if you're gonna build, if you're gonna build quick and get the Hope on the water, I would do that. I would do that first. But otherwise, if you're more like me, where I'm more of a slow builder on that kind of stuff, where I'm not gonna accelerate them too much. I'm going with the Omni. It's going to be a long-term. I think you're going to have the Omni for the next year, 9 months to a year. I think the Hope is going to be. It's going to turn into a bit player after what?
Next bounty.
6
after
weeks.
Bounty.
What?
After Bounty.
6 weeks. Next bounty. 2 weeks from now.
2 weeks. Okay, I was giving it 6 weeks with the build time, but yeah.
Only the top end players are going to get this new Conqueror hole next bounty. The people that can actually win the top prize. You know what I'm saying? But still, that's going to be your top players with the top bases, and that's going to make the Hope obsolete in the top players' bases.
Yeah. And the actual cost of the Hope is not 20 million. It's 45 million because you need to get a special.
It's still, I'm going to tell you what, it's still bullshit. It's still total BS. I understand why Kickside did it, but to drop it 2 weeks after all the top players in the game threw all that freaking coin out to win that hole and then build that hole, and now Kickside drops the hole out, but not only drops the hole, but they also throw out the build tokens and the VXP tokens for it.
Well,
that's a slap in the face.
In some respects, yes, right? In some respects, yes. I wasn't exactly thrilled that it was out there. However, given that you have the Omni in there as well, if you want it in Bounty, like mine's already built, mine's out and it's in my base now, so I can concentrate on the Omni. So I have a head start from the head start that I had already from getting it in the Bounty. So it's kind of that one's. I'm iffy on that. I can see both sides of this.
Yeah, giving people a head start, and that's what it's supposed to be, and especially with the defender classes.
Yeah.
I think that, like, because I've always been a big proponent of the defender classes coming out in the raid before they come out in bounty. The conqueror classes, fine, come out in bounty. But as far as, if bounty is allowed to run the way it is, it's going to go off kilter. It's going to be
it's already going off kilter though. I mean, that's why I think after Bounty 1, I was like, dude, I'm fine with this so long as the defender stuff stays in the raid, and I just dislike seeing it in Bounty. Just in general, on principle.
Yeah, no, I didn't.
Because even players that aren't doing the PvP aspect still got to be able to defend their base.
Is the focus just to redeem or not, or are you going to rehash the whole I don't think that's fair and whatnot again?
What?
No, just saying, because I mean, I thought the idea was just to discuss what to redeem from the prize list, right? And I mean, yeah, the hope's there, nothing we can do, it's there. So should people redeem it or not?
Redeem which?
The hope.
Redeem the hope.
Honestly, here's the thing, all right? Here's
what I said earlier.
Here's my opinion on this, because if you look at the amount of points that players are winning in the game, you got about 2,000 players that have enough points to redeem the next raid hole with the weapon, the special, grab a hope, grab a few other things, and then after that it drops. I mean, it dramatically drops on the point list. You know what I'm saying? So outside of those 2,000 players, a large portion of the community does not have enough points to be worrying about that. And to be honest with you, I tell them, don't worry about the hope. Don't worry about the Omni. You need to worry about getting your PvE stuff squared away so that you will be able to start in the next raid, plus be able to do, whatever these targets turn into after the next raid. You'll be able to take and do TLCs when they come out. So I recommend anybody work on that weapon and the Buccaneer first before you worry about any of the PvP stuff. Maybe getting those base specials for your turrets at 1 million piece, that'd be a nice bonus for smaller players. But, a lot of the player base is not looking at pulling, 200 million points to be able to grab the hope and the special and the weapon, plus the Buccaneer special weapon, plus the charged armors. You know what I mean? Right there, you're looking at what? Almost 300 million points you got to have to pull just that series of prizes.
Yep. I see often people posting on the TFC page on Facebook just saying, hey, how do people stop the King Grid? How do people stop the Twin Blade? Oh, I can't stop blah, blah, blah. I mean, I see that all the time. To simplify, I just want to say the hope can stop all of the above.
Right, but if you're a player that's only got, say, 100 million points.
Let me finish, please. Just going to say, if people care about stopping attacks on their bases, the hope short term is the best solution there is. I mean, it's a lot shorter than 30 days to build an epic cat mortar per mortar, right? I mean, you get this one, you get the tokens, you build it, boom, you stop twins, you stop King Grid, you stop bus, you stop all that stuff. Sorry, said my piece there.
Oh, I do agree with you completely, Ren. The hope will stop in the short term everything coming at our bases right now. But if you're one of these players, like I said, there's a massive drop off on the points. You got your top players, which are all rolling 3, 4, 5, all the way up to 1 billion points in the game, right? But then after that's only like the top 2,000 players in the game. And then you're dropping down to players that are trying to figure out, what am I going to do with 100 million or less? You know what I'm saying? And if you got 100 million or less points and you decide that you want to play, PvP, and you go after the hope and you get the weapon and the special for it, you just dropped yourself out of the ball game for being able to do the next raid. You see what I mean?
No, that's not necessarily true. If you happen to have both shipyards built, you don't, because you can build the defender in the other one. If you don't have both shipyards, yes, you have to make a tougher choice.
I think
no. Shipyard has nothing to do with it. I'm talking about points.
Not the shipyard.
Once you get past the top 2,000 players in the game, you're looking at the vast majority of the players in the game. Like I got a buddy in my alliance. He's got 112 million points, and he's ranked at 2,227. at 115 million points. You see what I mean? So if he's got 115 million points to spend, and he goes and spends 50 million to get the hope, the weapon, and the special, so that he can stop everything coming into his base, he's just cut his own throat on being able to claim the PvE prizes to be able to do the next raid series.
Well, he hasn't really, because if he's got 150.
No, 115, but that he can't get one of each of the charged ballistics put on his fleet, along with the special, the weapon, and the ship. You see what I mean?
I'm on right now. I'm looking at the.
Are you still sharing my screen, Jeff?
I can share it again.
Okay, good.
I turned it off for a bit, but yeah.
Spirit just wanted to show 2 more specials. So there's Canon System 4 here on my screen, and it's again, I can't see the price anymore, but I know it was cheap.
Yeah.
And I think for people without the Nuke Accelerator 2 or 1, that's a very good choice. I mean, it's as good as depending on the setup, right?
Yeah.
And the other one is just above the high velocity rounds. Do you agree that's a must-have special?
Yeah, and it's only that's another one that's right around 1 million points. These are value buys.
Yeah,
I would
even if you go the Buccaneer and you can get the special, but get the Buccaneer, the Cannon, and you get these 2 specials, you're well set.
Yeah, no, I agree. You know, the
yeah, but you're still pushing 60 million points for that setup.
Yeah, but are they ever going to release the nuclear reactor again?
We don't know, but but what I'm saying is for players that are not running in the top, that are running around 100 million or less points, instead of worrying about going for a PvP hole, they need to follow the tradition in this game and get their raid fleet ready first. Worry about PvE so that you can build up to the PvP.
No, I agree with Ren. Ren is really putting some value buys here. So yeah, HCR is you got to get it if you don't have it. I mean that's there's no way around it because it's
it's one of the best specials in the game.
I forget because you can use it and you can use it everywhere. It's not limited to ballistic. It's it's the plus 100 projectile speed. That's not limited to generalist. I mean, because you can get the seismic rounds or whatever, also gives you plus 100, but that's limited to generalist halls. Yeah, it's a very good special. It also has building damage and whatnot. So it's a very good special, especially what's the fucking cost of the critical, the new critical chip?
It's super expensive. I don't know, but it's a lot.
Yeah, it's like 30 million, right?
The man is 15 million.
Yeah, that's or 15. Oh, it's just 15. Okay, but yeah, 50. It's not worth 15 times the cost.
No, and I'm sharing on my screen. That's so far subject to change because I haven't seen the target. I mean, that's how I plan on building the Buccaneer. I've saved that. And I'll tweak based on, I'm going to actually build with a lot of that empty. But that was my idea so far. I don't know if you guys can see, but the high velocity round is right there. You can probably see that, right?
Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah.
It's on screen.
Now, the one special I find weird, it's not on the raid, is CL3. I haven't seen that anywhere. Is that on FM?
That was the question I had in the last show. Is like, why is this not here? What was the other one? There's another one that's big that's missing. Yeah, there was. I'll have to look back on the slides. There's another one that's big. I already have it, but it was missing. But CL3 is a huge thing as far as why is it not in this raid? I mean, now they've added. The ability to get a second Phantom Gluttony. But yeah, they didn't add some of the stuff that's sort of crucial for players to go forward.
The option is to use LA3 and RC3, right?
RC or A? Layered Armor 3 and
RC 3 or 4.
RC?
RC reflective coating here.
Reflective coating. Yeah. Reflective coating.
That's the other source of radioactivity in the game, and that gives you evade as well. So that's the other possible combo. But then you lose the damage special.
Yeah, and that was an FM prize, right? Reflective coating 4.
No, wasn't it like in that tech up stuff? I don't know.
Yeah, it was in the tech up.
I do remember the title of the slide. I was like, what the fuck is this for? You know, I put some very negative thing because that came out a while ago. But we can't look at the okay, it might have been in Tech Up, but okay. Yeah, it's yeah, it is questionable about because we don't know how to move forward. I mean, it's because we've gotten the message from Rampage that, you know, basically that radioactive is not going to be a big deal in the first one.
That's not what he said.
Okay, what did he say?
That's not what he said at all. He said that radioactive charged armor is not going to be needed. I don't know why people are thinking this. I can guarantee you that there's going to be radioactive damage in those targets. Absolutely guarantee you there's going to be radioactive damage. There's no way in hell they're not going to put radioactive damage in those targets.
But but you know, I mean, is it avoidable? I guess is the issue because this is a fast ship. I mean, more my thought is that it's somehow avoidable. Is what I'm saying.
That's another thing you've got to put into expectation as well.
Which is what?
Well, if it's the auto haul, it's going to move at its own speed. So all it takes is it to hit it, unless it's going to be able to run past it because it's going to go for something else. Which with Kickstarter, auto hauls, well, you know you're going to need it. I'm going to put some armor on just in case anyway.
Yeah, I'm not going to put that until we see the target on Friday. I'm not going to.
Yeah, and until we see the target, if you look at my screen, this is at most what I would build. These are the components I kind of like know for a fact will be in the right place.
Okay.
Would you agree?
I would definitely put Siege 4 and Speed 6 on it. And yeah, I mean, I'm still not sold on the armor special yet, but yeah, the rest of it.
I mean, go ahead.
Go ahead, George.
I was just going to say the only thing that I'm kind of leery of is putting that armor special on until we see the target, because in this raid it was, you know, the auto hull was kind of designed to kind of lean towards one in one, like one specific armor type all the way up, and then armor on the other side. So since we don't have a straight up radioactive armor, I'm kind of worried that, you know, maybe you want to have layered on it and then 4 plates of radioactive charged when it comes out. I don't know.
Well, and I saw you were very specific, like AA3 and all CT armor, right? And how long were you taking? How much damage were you taking in autopilot?
52-ish minutes. 55 was around the average.
So my build that has a mix, I was using 3 ships. I changed to CTX 3 and 2X 2 CT armors. And the fleet overall is taking it varies from 1 hour and 10 to 1 hour and 40. So it's not like the end of the war. Yeah, your build's better. I'm not disputing that, but it's not the end of the war. That's my point.
Right. It's just that the way things worked out in this raid, it seems like it was designed like that. You know what I mean? Like I don't know if they're going to pull the same thing. Like they're not really telling us much. So we're kind of having to guess, you know, and especially when we haven't seen the target, like I don't even know now. So I don't know. Like I'm definitely putting in Speed 6 and the The Siege.
4, and I'm only using 4 of these cannons, and the reason I'm not putting more is because I want to see what the other weapon is. Although I'm thinking it's going to be a launcher.
Yeah, that's right. Whenever that DLC comes out, we're going to see the new weapon too.
Yeah, I'm thinking it's going to be a launcher just because I saw a picture somewhere that the new ship's called something Cruiser, and every ship called Cruiser was a radioactive ship.
Yeah, it was launcher. And this actually has a radioactive buff inherent too, doesn't it?
So I'm leaving that open because I also heard rumors that we may need countermeasures. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I've heard that.
So I'm only putting 4 cannons on it.
How much radioactive buff do you have?
What do you mean?
Doesn't it have an inherent radioactive damage buff?
The ship or the cannon?
The ship.
Oh yeah, the ship starts with 50, 60. I'm going to clean it up here so we see the base. 45%.
No, I mean.
But then there's an aura for every ship you have in the fleet. It adds 35%. Just kind of like an icebreaker thing.
I meant the pack.
No, the pack.
I'm getting a lot of feedback from somebody.
Somebody has YouTube running.
There it is. No, I meant the hull inherent. Doesn't it have a radioactive buff with damage?
Oh yes, it does. It does have it has a radioactive range debuff, but has a radioactive damage buff of 75%. The same it has for ballistic.
Yeah, so that makes me now that I see that, then yeah, we want to see what the new weapon is too, because I mean.
Yeah, so in theory, this ship can be used both as a ballistic ship and a radioactive ship. The only problem is when you put radioactive, it loses range.
Yes,
5%, right?
I think the radioactive is going to.
Which may not be bad because the Tide Seeker in its heyday was an awesome ship and it had a range debuff.
Yep, it did, and it was awesome.
Yeah. Now, George, to finish answering your question, the aura that the ship has also adds plus 20% radioactive damage or ballistic per ship in the fleet. So it's a huge buff in the end.
Yep. So that's going to make it very interesting once we see that new weapon.
Yeah.
Well, it's going to be interesting. I mean, it's a hull raid, and I understand that they wanted us to have a lot more points and stuff, but bloody hell, there's so much stuff in this raid that's you want to get.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but what will be your highest priority?
Buccaneer.
I'm still going with the charged armors, but
Yeah, for me it's the Buccaneer, the Cannon, and the Charged Armor in that order. And the Charged Armor actually kind of stops being a priority after you get 5. Once you have one piece of each, you're not in the ditch anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and the thing is, if you're going to be torn between the armor and the Buccaneer, I mean, you could always throw the armor onto a Cannoneer and kind of putz through the B sets the first raid. Because now the raid's also 4 months. I don't know. That's tough. I don't know if I would put the Buccaneer or the armor first.
I'm not trusting the Cannoneer much as a plan B, just because of its crazy high repair time and the fact that it's kind of made of glass.
Wait, Ren. You know the repair time on the Buccaneer is the same as the Cannoneer.
Yeah, but the Buccaneer will deliver a lot more for that repair time. I mean, do you want to be stuck with that repair time doing 60s, or do you want to be stuck with that repair time doing an elite target?
Yeah, well, depends on what happens, because the Cannoneer has more range. And
but it's made of glass.
Well, here's the other thing. Here's the other thing that you guys can think about too, because I was actually kind of thinking through the Ironclad, because it has the that bloodthirst thingy ability, and then it has some really, really high resistances. I don't know.
I just said, Jeff, that the problem with the Cannoneer is that the Cannoneer only works if nothing fires at it. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, the Buccaneer, for instance, the Buccaneer has like 1,100 deflection built in.
Mm-hmm.
It's a beast. So I know the repair time is the same, but again, I mean, the Cannoneer will take a lot more damage, and it's going to keep you down to like very, very low level targets grinding for points. So that's why, I mean, I know people that's going to be the best they have, but I'm still I'd rather have the Buccaneer with no armor than the Cannoneer with charged armor. Let me put it this way.
Yeah, the only reason I bring it up is the fact that the range boost on the Buccaneer is lower than the Cannoneer. So until we see the targets, I mean, there is a chance that 5% range difference does make a difference. That's all I'm bringing up. You know, I'm just, you know, that's why I'm bringing up the fact that
it might make a difference.
Could have a big role coming forward. I have no idea, but the fact that there's that 5% range difference, so you could now avoid certain types of damage.
Yeah, and here's another mechanic that I want to bring to your attention. See what you think of it.
Okay.
Last raid, that big, huge launcher turret at the center of every target. The speed, the projectile speed. Hello?
The ejaculator?
Yeah, the projectile speed was very low in the low-level targets, and it got real fast in the top targets. So you had to keep moving, right? Now, if they play with that kind of projectile speed in these targets again, the Cannoneers run at like 52, 55, depending on the special. That's their top speed. The Buccaneer goes at 70-something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So if you gotta outrun damage coming at you, splash damage, you know, I'm not sure how far the Cannoneer can go. I'm pretty certain they will make it so they cannot go past the 60s.
I'm talking about the first raid. I'm not talking about past the first raid, because they've released the auto haul or whatever you want to call it first, and so I don't know historically. I mean, but it's not the same people around anymore, as you know. Historically, historically, what would happen would be that would be available. I mean, you know, the ability to snipe out those things using longer range would be available, but these guys are not. You know.
I mean, 6 months ago, I would be completely on board with you, because the trend 6 months ago was that every auto haul sucked and the skill haul did great. In the past 2 raid cycles of Assault and Skirmish, the auto haul is actually doing pretty well.
I'm not going to dumb it down to that haul sucks and whatnot. I'm just saying, like, the history with the Siege, and you know, the history with there's a potential, and the history with the Garrison, and there's a history where, like, if you can out snipe them just on the first round, just the first round of the raid. I'm not saying I would recommend that. I mean, I'm going to have 4 of these, Buccaneers built. I'm not happy about it. I don't think it's a haul that I want to move forward with. But I don't know yet, because I don't have the information, right? I mean, but I'm not telling people not to build them. Like I said, I'm gonna have 4 built for VXP weekend, but it's not. I'm not loving this. I'm not loving it because I haven't seen the target. There's not the information for me to say that I should do this. It's not. Because sometimes we get into this. This is supposed to be a strategy game, but they keep us in the dark, and that's part of my issue when talking about this, is that we're kept in the dark, and we're supposed to make decisions guessing on what they're going to do. And they've changed over the people that are designing the game and whatnot from one point to another. So we can't even guess based on who that person was and what they did historically. And you understand what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, but anyways, I mean, either way, my way, your way, everybody's going to be taking a risk because we're only going to see the targets on Friday at best. And by then, the raid store's closed.
We're going to see some version of the target. Yeah. Because last couple of times we haven't seen a raid target that's ever showed up.
No, but it gives you the mechanic, right?
It gives you a good part of the mechanic. I agree with that. But yeah,
is if they put in VXP and inside the raid they don't stick. If they stick the launcher where you will need some stuff on it, and then they don't stick it in VXP, but then they stick it in raid, that's going to get a hell of a lot of people's backup. There's certain things they need to show from what we've been told, from what certain people have been told, and they are telling the community. If they don't show it in VXP, it ain't going to clarify what people have been saying, so then people ain't going to build it, so it's going to put their back up. And it's little things like that. It's like if there's a big thing, like this is Siege, and I'm not saying what I've been told because I don't want the backlash of it anyway. So, but there is going to be some unease on my book. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
The thing is if they don't show that in VXP, nobody's going to know it. And then they stick it in the first raid, people are going to go berserk.
Oh, yeah.
About it.
If people build one way and we have to make all assumptions with no idea, I mean, it used to be like that 2 years ago, right? But, now I think it's much better in the sense that now we've always consistently gotten a preview of the freaking target. And absolutely, I want to see a preview of the target on VXP weekend.
In the 100.
Yeah.
9 times out of 10, the 100 is the 89, and the lower one is the 86, 69. But they change all the time anyway. Well, then again,
but they don't even need the final targets. Like I said, I just want to see what's the mechanic. Is evade important? Is anti-stun important? Is speed important? Is damage important? Do I put autoloader or do I put AS4? That kind of decision, right? So right now, we just don't know. I'm just building empty halls for ranking, but after that, I want to be able to start actually building them, equipping them.
I hope we can find out some clarity about the MAN special.
So are you going to build Pac-Mans or are you going to build just packs on your...
I'm holding off on specials until I figure out what the hell is going on, because looking at the numbers, I mean, that special sucks, right? Like, I mean, it's horrendous DPS wise. It's like a third of what it would be if you use just autoloader 2.
Exactly. I mean, the moment the special, a brand new special is weaker than the special that's been in the game for like 6 years, so you have a problem, I guess.
See, I don't know that it's a problem, because I was thinking about it, and I one of the things I noticed in this raid, because I had switched, I had a friend of mine that had the exact same build. We both were we both helped run the alliances, so we made sure all our alliance bonuses were the same. Like, we had everything exactly the same, and we were in the same world and everything. And we found that the ACP was doing was not killing the target fast enough, so the fleet was taking more damage overall than the one with Strike Warhead. And it goes back to what Hefe and I had talked a couple weeks back about cumulative damage and time to kill, right? The time to kill was shorter, so you took less damage. And I'm thinking that the only thing that fits in my brain is that if this thing sucks so bad on DPS, then maybe DPS isn't as important in the next raid. It might be something else. And the only something else I can come up with is a time to kill. And the only way I can come up with a time to kill change versus, DPS not being as important is if there's like deflection or splash damage reduction or something along the lines where the mechanic is changed, where your damage is going to get mitigated unless you critical hit.
I was going to just drop the word deflection, and you did it. You're right. I mean, the only scenario with the variables we have today where that special outperforms the other stuff is, like you said, if it's important for each projectile to have a very, very high damage value with the critical, right, to overcome a deflection. There's no other variable that would make that more important than raw DPS.
I mean, you can do it with splash damage reduction too if you start getting into higher numbers. It's just that would be very clunky.
Yeah, you could. In theory, you could. But not for the main turret you're firing at, but for the others nearby, yeah. But again, we don't know. We need the target to test.
So if some people already built Buccaneers fully coined them out.
Yeah, not that I know of. I know people who coined the Omni, but not the Buccaneer. Now, another thing that was added later, and so I don't think any show had the chance to discuss, is having the Gluttony, the Sinful Scattergun, and the Phantom Gluttony added to the store.
Yep.
That was interesting, to say the least.
Well, even that, and you could get more than one. That honestly, I think was an oversight, but
I mean, probably not. They just, because a lot of people like me, right? I suppose a lot of people, but it's my case at least. I built the Phantom Gluttony. I was using that on my fleet of Gluttonies to hit bases, but then I realized it was actually better having it in my base guard than having it out there. So I just redeemed the second one, and I know they're a lot less effective now with the sea trap, the underwater trap, but I might, if I have time to spare on my Conqueror shipyard, I might build the second Phantom. Just so I have one in guard, one in people.
If you can get on that sea trap, if you can get that raise up with the Gluttony after they come through the sea trap, you have a second Gluttony, so it spans its range, so then stuff can hit. Also, it's behind level 10 wars. You're hitting it with the Gluttony, then they've got to come through two things, which is going to spot them, and then you've also got your turrets after that as well. So I can see Gluttonies are now out. If you've got Gluttonies build, I can't see you doing nothing with them.
The other use for the Glut, and again, you're talking top level bases, and then I fully agree. But there's all other bases in game.
Oh yeah.
And then there's also the bandit occupied bases during bounty. I don't know how much they're going to change it next month, but I could do the 80 something Bob, 86, yeah, with Gluttonies. I mean, it's a good way of topping up to the point where I could bank the bounty.
I could do, I think it was the lower 90. I think it was the lower 90 I could do with my Gluttonies.
So all I'm trying to say is I don't think they're totally out of the game, right? Yeah, they are a lot less useful now, but, especially like if people are looking for a base guard, it's an option.
That's what I use base anyway, full Gluttony fleet.
Except for it is a flagship, and if you're gonna get, it depends on what I don't know. I'm afraid there's gonna be another flagship that comes out. Depends on you just need to consider that is a flagship. So
the Omni is not a flagship, is it?
No, the Omni's not.
So the Hope's not a flagship.
Yeah.
So what other flagship would you put in your defense right now, if not the Phantom Gluttony?
Yeah, it depends where you're positioning it. Yeah, I mean, I would just...
just look at the existing flagships in the game right now. What other flagships are useful in base defense?
I'm just thinking that there's going to be one that comes out soon because they made it cheap.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to be releasing more defending stuff for the next couple of months, because if you follow their business logic, they kind of released a set of defenders now that neutralize every conqueror in the game. That's going to create demand for the new tier 7 conqueror that's going to be the new blockbuster. And they're not going to neutralize that next month because they're going to be releasing next month. So that means at the very least 2 months until they release a super duper defender or what turret or whatever to neutralize that. And even that might not be a flagship.
But do you see with the price? Because I want to bring up another point before we get off. But do you see another? You've seen certain halls get treated with. They're always high priced, and they're they always stay relevant. Like the last 3, like the Guts Bill Skyfire, the bus, and now I see the Omni getting sort of treated that way with the high price. And I'm just, I'm trying to get back to like, what do people buy? Do you buy the Hope, or do you buy? It just feels like it's getting treated in that way, that it's going to be
around for a longer expect.
Yeah, I mean, that's the feeling I get from playing the game for a long time. What do you guys what do you guys think? It just has that feel that it's going to be, that basically I think the Hope is going to be sort of a secondary haul, and I mean, Rum Runner said in 2 months and 2 weeks. I think in 6 weeks, but it's not going to be what it was in a couple weeks. So, I mean, it may be a great opportunity at this point in time to build it for bounty, because if you have that seawall and you have the seawall associated with it, with the Hope, with all the weapons and specials, nobody's going to get in your base. But I just think long term, if people aren't going to have it ready for bounty, I'm just not sure it's going to. I'm not sure it's going to last past bounty. It's going to be a high level defender at that point in time.
Yeah, and again, you say it's not going to last past bounty for the top of the crop, because how many do you think? I mean, if this tier 7 conqueror comes out in bounty, how many do you think will get it? 1,000 players, maybe. Right? So that means against everyone else, the Hope still blocks everyone else. So there's a little bit less value on the investment, but it's far from useless.
Well, except for the fact that, I mean, I understand what you're saying, but the fact that if you think about it, it's been offered at a relatively cheap price and a relatively short build time. It just seems like it's headed towards the end with the build time, because they're adding tokens for VXP and they're adding tokens for building. Yeah, they're adding tokens for building, both of them. But the VXP tokens are only associated with the Hope. There's no VXP tokens for the Omni.
Yeah, and that's because I think, like people already said, I think the Omni is a more long-term defender that sits in the back and gives the countermeasure for everyone and whatnot.
Yeah,
and the deflection buff, but the Hope certainly going to be have a shorter life.
Yeah,
I'm just saying it's not like, oh, next bound comes up and it's useless. It's just probably useless to the top of the crop.
Yeah.
Right?
So basically,
not for everyone else.
Okay, just so I break it down for everybody, you fuck the Hope, you marry the Omni, right?
Say that again.
You fuck the Hope, you marry the bounty.
That's one way to look at it.
I mean, is that the way you see it? That's the way I see it.
Just a side chat. I mean, I have the guys on YouTube chat saying that the Omni is a flagship. I have it open on my shipyard, and I cannot see. Oh, found it. Flagship only. They're right.
Okay.
Just found it. Yeah. Sorry, I'm getting old.
Out of the way.
The Omni Behemoth is a flagship. Yes.
Okay, so you can't use that with the Phantom.
No.
Phantom Glut. Yeah.
So there's a good reason then not to get the second Phantom for fleet defense, base defense.
Yeah, and part of that, you think part of that is associated with the effectiveness of the Gluttonies as far as, slapping on the Nightmares and the impact that has as far as keeping players out of your base?
Well, my Phantom doesn't have Nightmares. It runs the Sinful Scattergun. It's pretty much there because it slows attacker down, and that allows the Epic Cats to do their work. Right? It also it also shoots that corrosive stuff, and which kind of damages over time. If they stay on that field long enough, taking hits from the Sinful, I mean, kind of hurts over time, right?
Yeah.
So, and I can tell you that the King Rits were getting in my base almost 100% of the times, assuming they were well built and well driven. But after I put the Phantom, I don't think I had anybody getting in with King's Raid.
Well, I've heard Inquisitors are not too bad still.
No, you're right. Inquisitors are good.
So,
as far as an attack hull or as far as a defending hull?
With my so many points as an attacking hull, would you Inquisitors or would you put King's Raid?
Go ahead. I was paying attention to.
So there's a guy in chat who just asked me. He has 12 million points and he wants something for next raid. What should he get?
Ask him what world he's in. If he's in 200, come and find me.
If he's in what, 200s?
If he's in any sector between 201 and
any of the 200s, come find him. Yeah.
If he's in 200s, he can come find me.
Did you hear that, Scott?
I will get him up them points.
There you go. That's a good Samaritan.
Come find Crispy. I'm in Salt. Give me a message.
Okay, so that is Scott Albert from the Carton on YouTube chat. So if he reaches out to you, there you go.
Yeah, if he's using Hell Race, that's tricky.
I think that's what he has for skirmish. Well, if you got 12 millions with that, congratulations to him.
That'll be on 45.
All right. Should we move to the after show where we can talk about we can talk about what people are going to cook, how and why. What are you going to cook for Christmas dinner? I mean, I'm going to do a standard rib roast and Yorkshire pudding. I'm not, I don't live over on the other side of the pond. I'm curious, Chris, what would you expect at the
part in VXP? Because VXP hits on them in it's on Christmas Day and Christmas Eve, mate. You can have time.
I'm good at the, if you follow the show, I'm good at because I've already clocked my oven for temperature. I've put in Pyrex measuring cups where I put in oil and water, and I've been calibrating that motherfucker because I don't trust the thermometers because the thermometers are wrong. Those things that hang off of, they're not good. But yeah. But
I follow the show, and I always thought you were just really good at finding girly pics online. I mean, you know.
Well, as far as except for Brian's not happy with the, he's trying to get rid of the mass augmentation girl, and I thought everybody loved her.
I don't remember.
Why don't you refresh our memories on that? See what it looks like.
Yeah. I'll look at it. It'll take me a little bit of time, but
it's worth it. I mean, it's fair and equitable choice.
I don't even know which one.
I agree.
Show that I missed.
No,
yeah, George, you'd appreciate it. You really would. I think Cafe ought to show it to you.
Okay. No, I'm assuming that George has seen all these. Give me a couple minutes to, I need to, I don't have the slides open.
I thought she was your desktop.
No. But,
what the hell was that? I don't want to know.
Somebody spit in a can.
Oh. I must have a dirty mind then.
Oh.
George.
What, dude?
This is funny.
What's even worse is the minute I said that, the entire panel started chuckling. I'm just saying.
I didn't even hear it. What'd you say?
Never mind, dude.
Nah, because I'm trying to open up the slides, so I got lag.
Yeah, it's your connection, dude.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, it may take me a while to open this up at this point.
Have you not been a lag through this raid as well? That's another thing I want to ask. Because a lot of people who I know have been expecting shite loads. Me personally, I've had none.
Yeah, it's weird. Like I know Ren said that he had like very little, if not no lag, and I get it all the time, but it's usually just in the first maybe 15 seconds in a target, and then after that it kind of settles out.
Mm.
Let's see. Miss Mass Augmentation 2017. I'm still looking for,
Just to let you all know, since we've been doing this live, 300 million. So I am now officially in the bills. Just to let you all know, guys.
In the bills?
Yeah. 17th, 16th in global, and just gone over 1 billion.
Oh, you might be ahead of Mike.
What's his name?
He's on the show.
I was trying to keep that kind of.
Mike, did you get 1 billion points?
Hey, I did.
Oh my!
Hell, Mike.
Well, my target's top 10.
I was prepping for some friends.
Yeah, sure.
And then I got so close, I said, I need to make the milestone. So I did it. Sorry. I apologize.
No reason to apologize. I'm just,
I'll tell you what, though. I am plus 40 coin for the raid.
Yeah, I'm only plus 30.
I did not merc. So I had one ticket, and I didn't spend a single coin.
I haven't not sent in a ticket all raid. This is the first raid that I haven't had like a massive issue.
Well, remember the original, when you go in the target, you're in the cloud. You heard about that mess?
Yeah. Yep.
Put a ticket in right away, and they, instead of, they said they were fixing it, and oh, by the way, here's 40 coin. I didn't really do it for the gold, but because I wasn't going to hit those targets until it was fixed. So I hit last month's targets in the meantime.
Oh, I forgot to do those too.
You'll be surprised how easy they are if you've been doing the current ones.
Well, that's another thing. Actually, thinking about it, a lot of people who can't actually do the void, and who are sniping out, thinking about it, who are sniping out the 85 gluts. If you can snipe out the 85 gluts, right? I'm going to share my screen quickly, and I'll quickly give you a quick show on this.
I'm sure, you know, everybody.
I remember her. Okay.
Yeah, I'm sure I miss
augmentation.
Yeah. So, yeah. I'll stop sharing my screen.
I could have had that for you. Like,
so we can watch
That
every
poor
year.
girl.
Poor girl, yes. She's about to explode.
I mean, could you imagine having to walk around with those things? Just, oh my goodness.
That's a whole different issue.
I'd be afraid of them things knocking me out if I was flipping them around, for crying out loud.
Imagine if she was a jogger.
Oh, that's black eyes galore.
Yeah, I don't think that she can jog like that.
Oh, no.
I mean, I also think that's completely Photoshopped, but, you know, it's a whole other story.
Yeah, wait a little bit.
All right. Well, I'll get rid of her just because.
Yeah, make Rome unhappy.
George hates her, so we're getting rid of her. All right.
Hefe, so if you just quickly share my thing, I'm just going to show some people if they got,
Go ahead.
got fangs and they've only got nightmares on them. You do Fangtooth Abyss, enter it, kill the fleets, kill the gluts. That gives you about 300 mil, 300k. It's a small amount, but it gets you up that way. I know a couple of people who've got a fair few hundred, like a few hundred mil with that.
Yeah.
I didn't understand why so many people were complaining that, oh, you'll only do it 3 times. I mean, you just start it, hit it, and then, you know, cancel it.
Yeah. But, you know, George has that as his dating profile, which is a little weird, but, you know, I completely agree.
Wait, I have what on what?
What did you?
I didn't even know.
Start it, hit it, and
then quit it.
Yeah. It's okay. Yeah.
Questionable.
Questionable.
I've been questionable my
We're
entire.
not even in the after show, right?
No.
No. I was trying to go to the after show earlier, but you know.
I mean, if we're not even in the after show and we're already here,
Yeah. Whatever.
I've actually been behaving so far. Shit.
Oh, the king of the after show.
Hot damn.
Mr. Larry, how are you doing, sir?
Hey, I got like 600 million points. I'm not sure what I should get.
You points whore.
You should get in rehab.
I should
You're
what?
addicted.
Yeah, what the hell am I meant to do?
BP rehab.
Oh, okay.
No, but 600 million. I mean, it's not what you should. It's what you should build. I think. Don't you think? I mean, should you build the hope?
Yeah, I
Or
started
should-
one.
Okay, whatever. You dumb motherfucker. But yeah.
Good Lord.
So it's
No, I'm not gonna say that. But as far as I did say that, but that's not what I meant. But as far as like long-term investment, who are you gonna invest in? Are you gonna invest in the Omni, or are you gonna invest in the Hope?
But,
stress.
so I figure I could do one of each before January's raid, where they're going to apparently release a new Conqueror. So that's my plan.
Okay, no, that makes sense. I didn't mean to be too obtrusive.
Nah, it's fine. You can call my plan stupid, and I will disagree.
That's
I mean, literally, I finished a writ, and so I've got a nice fleet with the bus and 2 sloths and a twin blade and a writ. Seems to be all right. So then I'll build a hope and I'll build an Omni and see what shows up in January.
Hey, Larry, you're half a ship ahead of me.
Okay.
So, oh my. So, as far as okay, because I think that's the big debate as far as things go, as far as like the Omni versus the Hope. And you've made the decision. You're going to build that one fast, right? The Hope.
I mean, I did the Hope first because my shipyard was open. I didn't have the points for the Omni yet.
Okay, because I'm thinking like the Omni is like the long-term investment. It's like buying AT&T in 1930, and you know the.
So maybe, but I don't build defenders often enough that I think I'm going to be replacing the Hope anytime soon. Right? I don't have any courage built. I have one Justice, and then I've got like a Harlox Alpha and an Alpha and a Valiant. Oh, and a Glut. So,
No, I'm not giving you her time. I'm just trying to figure out like.
Yes, you are.
No, I don't really give Larry a hard. I give you more of a hard time, Renato, than I give Larry. I'm just trying to figure out like the strategy as far as like how do we best use our build time.
Next raid.
I understand what you're doing. I understand that you're planning to build to be involved in the next bounty and basically say F you because you have a seawall and or the sea trap or whatever, the new.
I do.
Yes, and then you're gonna put this next to it, and you're just gonna put a middle finger up to everybody that tries to hit your base, right?
I don't know. I guess.
Yeah, it's the way I look at it.
Can I frame your question in a slightly different way?
Certainly. Go ahead, Renato.
So let's say your 5 ships in your defense today are crap. Okay?
Okay.
Would you pick the Omni as a countermeasure support defender hull, or would you pick the hull that can actually kind of single-handedly stop pretty much every attacker today?
Hope. Yeah. That's what I've gone for, and I've got
right. Now,
more what I'm thinking is long term. Like what
you're thinking long term. I'm just saying long term. You think long term when you have a code and you're planning vacation, but you don't think long term when you're bleeding to death. You know what I mean?
Well, it's not a forever build. I mean, if you get the Hope and you get the tokens, you shorten it down, you can still do both.
I'm putting things in context because different players will have different answers. Just saying, if your defense sucks and you want to change that, the Hope can change that from you suck to, hey, nobody gets in and maybe in a month the top 1,000 players get in. It's much better than you suck, in my opinion.
Yep, I agree.
Now, if you don't suck and you're reasonably decent defense and whatnot, the Omni, can take your other slightly above average defenders to a different level. Then I think it's the right choice. If you need to frame that as the or choice, right? Do you guys agree?
Yeah, I think the Hope first. If you've got nothing, good. Yeah.
Okay. There, I have rest my case. Larry agreed with me. You cannot fuck off.
So here's another interesting way to spend some points. I got some skirmish tokens. I'm going to sit on them for 9 months.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nice coin count.
Huh?
3,500 coins. Is that what I read?
Yeah, maybe. Close. Close to it.
Level 87 with 3,500 coins.
That was just Black Friday, though, mate. I kept them that long.
He's running a hack that generates gold.
Aye, sure.
Right?
I'd have more than that. Now, that's just from offers. I know the offers are crap. You're not getting as much, but if you buy them, you get extra. That's my raid bank, basically.
That's an awful lot on for raid.
Oh no,
Yeah.
no, no! I
you know.
I spent 14 this raid, and they were all by accident.
Accident?
Yeah, I was playing on my mobile, and it's like slow, and so I brought ship back to base, and I did it twice. Once was for 9, and once was for 4. All right, so maybe the one wasn't by accident, but yeah, like you click to repair. It just sloppy clicking on my phone.
I think for repairs and below 10 coins.
Yeah.
And I have 20 million points.
That's it?
That I didn't use yet. Yes.
Oh, that you didn't use yet. Yeah. Yeah, I have not many points that I didn't use yet. 3.5 million.
I've got about 50 of them in my bank already. I still ain't claimed the bus.
That's worth building.
Would you ride a bus?
I can ride a bus. I'm in England, mate. We got big double deckers, but I still haven't built it yet. Not claimed it. I've got the slough, so I've got the blueprint and like what I want to put on the slough, but still haven't even started building them yet. I've got the hoping right at this minute because I need a base defense. At the minute, I'm chasing people out with my gluts, and I'm getting sick and tired of it. when I know they're coming, but I've not been able to do anything with my base because all these type of raids, I've only ended up with around about 200 odd mil. So it's get what I need, and that's it. This one, I've been able to go OTT with it and get, just like I said, over $1 billion. And I can get all my base stuff, which is in this raid.
Wow, you're over 1 billion points?
I'm over 1 billion points now.
Holy crap.
Yeah. I'm going for top 10 in global. When you see my smiley face on my profile pic, you'll know that's me. But don't come to my base and put my dock out because I'm getting tired
You're
of
gonna put what?
people coming to put my dock out.
Well, I'm glad it's the dock.
That's one reason why I took about an hour away and I went flattening everybody in my sector because they just kept on coming in, putting my dock out. Because I'd say no to helping them. Because they'll ask I'll ask what they're going for, and they won't say the book. Once they don't say the book, I turn around and say no.
Yeah, that's an interesting point. Is I mean, like, yeah, people want help and they want like random shit. But if they don't go after the Buccaneer, then they're not going to get off the I need help train.
Yeah.
Right?
It's like I know some people now who were big time players and all that, and they've had some hardships and they can't do it and they've fallen back. And I said, right, I'll get you the book, I'll get you the gun, and I'll get you the special. Alright, you've probably got better stuff to put on than that special, but give you a basic build. If you fuck it up.
Hey, Chris, you're in 14th global.
Hey, loving it. 4 more places, guys.
Found it.
Yeah, there you are.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious as to why the hell we got the auto hull first. Because after they did this with the icebreaker, I thought they were like, "Oh, we learned our lesson. That was a mistake." Surprise!
Well, no. After the icebreaker, they learned how to make auto hulls because they made the Skyfire and the Hunter.
Mm-hmm. Well, I never really got the Skyfire fleet, so I don't know about
So maybe now they're confident enough in the auto hull that they're releasing it first again.
I would think it would depend on who designed it.
But the players aren't confident in it, so that's the issue. The players aren't confident.
Well, I mean, I've been working on 4 of them, and I figure I'm going to want them eventually. So I'm not as steamed as I was back when I built ironclads.
Yeah, no, I'm doing the same thing. I'm gonna have 4 of them built by VXP weekend, and I'm gonna fucking beat VXP weekend because of the repair modifier, repair efficiency. of 0.8, and unless they change something associated with the expectation, I'm not going to be happy, and I'm still wondering if Cannoneers are going to work on the first one, because
you're breaking up pretty badly again.
Yeah, you sound like shit.
Yeah, half his audio's gone.
Yeah, man.
Larry, take over.
Take over for what? I'm gonna get a beer.
No, you're the boss, man.
Well, that's why he's getting a beer. I mean, no.
Oh,
Yep.
Gotta remember which show we're on. Who just popped in? Red Bear.
Do I sound any better?
Everybody got their
Yeah, a little bit. Cracking.
Everybody got their bit. What you got, Larry?
Got a new one, Mad Tree Luna Lux.
Oh.
It's like a IPA, white IPA.
Interesting.
Whatever. Very Trump.
Because it's white.
Yeah, whatever.
That's right. I got a white beer. None of them brown ales.
You racist bastard.
Yeah. Whatever. We'll forgive Larry for this, but yeah.
No Happy Amber.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I meant that Amber, but yeah. Oh wow. I guess we could, unless I mean, the original purpose of the show was to try to examine what people that weren't getting a ton of base points or a ton of raid points and what they should do. And then the secondary impact was, you know, as far as what to do with the what's going on with the Hope versus the Omni. And we didn't really get anybody that didn't have a shitload of points in there. You know, because it's like, because you know, Larry, you weren't there from the beginning because I threatened to throw people off the show based on the number of points they had. You know, and I think Mike has over a billion, and so he was the first one to go, right?
And he's still here.
You know.
Yep.
Yeah, because you know there wasn't people that wanted to show up that had 100 million or 50 million and like what to buy and what to do. So you know that was the reason I did the show tonight as opposed to sticking with the Wednesday night show, just to sort of like give people something to buy, because people like to buy stuff before everything's over. Because I have a long-term strategy, because I stay in the 400s. I stay in the 400s because of why? Because I want to see what's going to happen with the release. And when the release comes out, then I start understanding more what's going to happen. And I expect what's going to happen in the release is three specials or a weapon, a special, and maybe two specials associated with the Zelos that's going to come out.
I doubt it.
Okay, we're gonna bet on this, Red. I think it's gonna be generalist shit that comes out.
No, it could be generalist shit. I just doubt it's gonna be for the Zealous, because the Zealous now is completing its first birthday, 1 year old. So I'm betting either there won't be any more generalists in game, or if they will keep investing in that, there's gonna be a new ship. I mean, we're talking about ships like with tons of resources now. The Zealous is totally outdated.
Yeah, I mean, but Zealous still has the same build time. It says like a long build time. I mean, Zella still sits in there as far as like, I don't know.
The Zealous is the new Punisher. I mean, you know. And actually, Red Bear in chat.
So when you say the Zealous is the new Punisher, I mean I should scrap them all? Because I scrapped all my Punishers.
Sure, go ahead. You can scrap all your Zealots that you want. I'm keeping mine.
Punishers lasted for how long, Ren?
Punishers for about a year.
Yeah.
Yeah, a year or so.
But I mean, Red Bear had a good point in the chat too. The players that can't get the points or are struggling right now. You might want to, if you have the Fangs or the Hunters already built, but just not done, you might want to finish it. When the DLC comes up, you can get the next raid.
You broke up, George. Say it again.
Missed the part of what you were going to say.
I mean, well, I was just going to say, Red Bear pointed out in the chat that if you don't have all if you don't have a lot of points, but you have your Fangs or Hunters started, right? It might be a good idea to invest in finishing up the Fangs and the Hunters so you can do the TLC to get the skill hull.
Solid point.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because it is a 4-month raid cycle now, and we're going to probably see those TLCs often, or at least a couple times each month. So you might fall behind for the first month or two, but by the end of the cycle, you'll still be able to participate in the next hull raid or store raid and catch up with a bunch of stuff. Great point.
Yeah.
Yeah. One thing I don't think anybody mentioned, or if you did, I was not paying attention. So I'm going to say it again.
You were talking. I mean, because Larry, you missed it. He went into like just straight Portuguese for a while, and nobody, it made Dr. Death had to leave the show. He wasn't understanding what was going on, and but there was but I eventually muted him because we think it was Naughty Talk, but we're not certain. But I'm sorry. Go ahead, Red.
I was just going to say, I don't know if anybody noticed that. Even though the cycle now is going to be 4 months, the build time for the Buccaneers is pretty reasonable. Because I was concerned they're going to go into a 4-month cycle and then just make the whole be 20 days each to build, but it's not.
Oh, how many is it?
You can get a decent build for 15 days.
Yeah, but with another 2 charge, it'll get up to 18.
Well, that's on 12. Hold on, wait, let me put the charged armor on. I've got mine with charged armor. It's 15 days.
Right, but there's probably going to be radioactive later.
Yeah.
So when you finish it, it'll be 18.
And the Phoenix was how long? Wasn't the Phoenix like 17 days, even after they adjusted?
Yeah, but then you got to take into consideration tokens and all that. So.
Yeah, all I'm saying is I was concerned with the jack up build times, and I didn't see that. I'm seeing the Buccaneer builds in line with the Phoenix, in line with the Skyfire, in line with the Phantom. The Fangtooth. It's the same ballpark build time, but now we're going to have an extra month to get to the next tech store. So to me, that's a good thing. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, well, we were all moaning about there being 190 odd days to build 2 fleets for raid and all that. So, and then you've only got
Chris, talk up. You need to be louder.
Yeah, I can barely hear you.
Sorry, guys. But first time I watched, should I say, someone was moaning about there's 3 months, so that's 90 days, and you've got like 180-day builds for 2 fleets, and it's like, what's the flipping point? So in theory, they've kept it the way it is, gave us an extra day to build it, or shut us up moaning.
Well, but if you do just that, it still doesn't take into account the tokens, right? You can get tokens in the FM and TLC tokens. So
I've got my full built within the first day because I took over tokens. I holded tokens and then took tokens as well. But I got all mine built within the first day. So it can be done. And now all I'm doing is just refitting speed system and nuclear reactor on them.
Yeah, I mean, I held the chest, and then I held the FM tokens, and then the tokens from the raids. So for XP weekend on the Bucks, I'm gonna have 4 built with 3 guns and Nuke Excel on each.
Also, I'll give a little pointer out for everybody. If they are going to put in your no more what's it called? Mana Wars or whatever they're called, if they're going to cancel them out completely and give them like this, start doing your dailies and hold your chests. Because I got over 500 uranium in 3 chests. And I was rolling crews and I got myself a monkey.
Yeah, no MOWs was just dumb. That was a dumb move.
Yeah, that is sort of fuck players. Yeah, I didn't like the move that they chose there, as far as like eliminating the players, especially that they build them for that purpose. That was not fair. Especially on a 6-day raid. If they did that on the next raid cycle, I would understand that better, and I would understand it better. But the fact that you did it on a 6-day raid cycle where you're going to run out of everything, and now they're charging you for it.
That's the part that I have the issue with, that they got rid of the MOWs and they're trying to monetize it. And the thing is it's starting to feel like getting nickeled and dimed again. And we were just complaining about that a couple months ago. And here we are again, same complaint.
People were moaning about base parts and titanium in it. So they've given you that. And they've obviously gone, well, we're giving it in point-wise. We're not going to give them another fleet to do it. And then that's obviously just let's make some extra money. Let's make them buy uranium as well. But that's not enough for uranium anyway.
No, I mean, they did change things, and now you're able to buy more uranium, but still the same fucking cost, which wasn't good. It wasn't a good cost. I mean, it's like, as far as players that are actually need the uranium to upgrade stuff, like the low level players. I mean, 1.5 million for 10,000. That's not good.
Yeah.
I mean, you're just fucking the low level players, and not even. I feel bad for those.
Fucking everybody, not just the low level. That taking the MOWs away is fucking everybody.
Well,
it's fucking everybody because I'm really making hard decisions opposed to with my road crews. But as far as like people that are trying to upgrade all their stuff, that's what I'm talking about. As far as low level players, as far as the people that are trying to upgrade what they're doing, as far as in the retro lab where you're spending 60, people trying to upgrade stuff. That's who I feel the worst for. I don't feel as bad for me because I'm trying to get, tokens. I'm sorry, I'm trying to get road crews, and I'm rolling for road crews, and I'm like, I'm taking some subpar road crews into these battles because
I'm not needing any crews.
You need crews, or I just feel more comfortable with the crews.
All right.
Not sure that I need them, but yeah.
Well, I know what I'm doing. I'm getting that half build time on that Grease Monkey I've got for VXP.
Okay.
Yeah. The Grease Monkeys and the Triple Salties are what you need. That's where I'm going to use them.
Well, I have 2 fleets doing VXP. I'm going to have Grease Monkey for the repair and Salty.
Yep.
Back. So Grease Monkey's not going on until they come back.
Yeah.
And once it's on, it's coin it, get it done, get it in, get it out again as quick as I can. So yeah, that coin stack's then going to go down.
Yeah, the last girl I met, I called her my little grease monkey. She didn't quite understand it, but
she took care of you in half the time.
And I really appreciated that, Larry. You know. I'm sorry. We should move on from there.
You brought it up. I just was filling in the blanks.
I'm trying not to do a two-pump friggin' joke, but
eventually I need to do it. But should we move
right strike zone?
Or I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead, Mike.
You put that one right over the strike zone, and Larry hit it out of the park.
Yeah, that's what we do.
That's true.
That's when you come to the crib. But I guess we should potentially end the show for the evening. But I'm thinking, because I did this show for community involvement because I feel like the show is okay. The game is having a hard time because, like, for a lot of players want to have interaction and feel they want to be like they want to feel like somebody else is playing the game, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And that's the reason I put the show out there tonight, is trying to help people to figure out what they're supposed to do in the future. And it's because recently it's been like it's the Crib Show and the TFC show have been showing up on the same night all the time. They've been running over each other, and so I don't like that. I think that as far as like a lot of people out there, we need to be like they want to be entertained. They want to have engagement with the other parts of the Battle Park community in more days than just one. So I threw this out there. But as far as the next show, I think we're gonna wait until there's an update, because that otherwise we would do a Wednesday night show. But at this point, no, because it's whatever. Am I making any sense? Probably not.
You answered the question I was going to ask: is are we going to do a show tomorrow night? Obviously, it doesn't sound like it.
No, I think next time, if we waited to the Wednesday show, because I've been really fastidious, because like Wednesday show is, Wednesday, it's me and Larry and and all the hot chicks that show up. You don't really get to see them, but they're, so Larry hires.
Hides them under the desk.
Yeah. Hello, hot chicks.
That's just wrong. Come on,
Yeah.
That's why he keeps saying, that's the chick under the desk.
Yes. And we really, to be honest, Larry, we don't give those girls enough credit. I mean, I think they do a really good job.
They do a great job.
Yeah, they do a great job. And I think they do so much for the show, even though they're below the desk and they're not on the camera. But I think they've done a wonderful job for the show.
They do some kind of job.
Yeah. We're not going to talk about that, but yeah, I think they do. It helps the community that they're underneath that desk.
Yeah.
Well, but whatever. This is just Hefe's version of everything. But but I'm thinking we should probably go to the after show at this point.
We've been in the after show. You just haven't flipped it off yet.
Yeah, more.
That's what it felt like, man.
Yeah, something about it.
It does feel that way, but I always enjoy. What's the difference? We're not monetizing this show.
True.
Yeah.
And we show up no matter what day, even the bad days. Like the bad days, we fucking show up. Well, we're not going to show up. We show up every fucking day. We show up on Wednesday when there's no update. Other shows don't show up when there's nothing to talk about, but we show up with nothing to talk about. But that's
there's other shows that don't show up anymore. Period.
Well, that is true. Some shows don't show up anymore, but that's a larger issue. But well, I'm going to post the link to the show for one.
I just want to say something quickly before we shoot off. All right, I'm up to a bill. Right, anybody in the sector 200 needs help, come find me. I'm in Sea Salty Alliance. My name is Chris B. Come find me. I've got plenty of time. I'm on till the end of the raid now as well. That's what however long now. I'm up for helping.
If you want to find him, go to the global leaderboard. He's about number 14, Chris B. It's
12.
easy.
12.
Okay. And
And
if you feel like going and rocketing his dock, I mean, he appreciates it, I think.
No, I don't.
That's a great way of reaching out for help, by the way.
You should see where my dock is. It's right at the top corner. I've got my gluts all around it. You come in, you land on it, you're getting smashed by the gluts straight away anyway. I've had plenty of people try it.
Told us where it is, so we come in at 3 o'clock and we just rocket the dock. Awesome. Great tip.
Well, it'll be fun now, won't it? I get to smash more people.
Well, Chris, I'm glad you had a good time. And, it seems like you're going to have some dock rock. Whatever.
Dock rocket. Hey, that's a good handle. Dock rocket. Okay.
So
it'll make you some friends.
Yeah. I'm going to post the after show. And anybody would like to join us, feel free. And we'll talk about exactly for Christmas dinner. I mean, I'm not even going to V with my Santa Ribros, but some people may, and that could be a controversy that's going to run out of fucking control.
I want Larry's recipe for his turkey breast.
Yeah, I'm not doing turkey for that, but
I'm at work at Christmas Day.
Sorry, are we going to talk about breasts? I mean,
yeah, it's possible. We could talk about ribs. We could talk about breasts. It's all about what's happening next. And
I can go get it and hold it up to the screen.
Well, that's my Christmas present. That's my Christmas. And I'm sitting in this chair on Christmas Day. So that's what I'm going to be doing Christmas Day. Drinking energy drinks or drinking beer at work.
So is Mr. Professor going to know that you're going to be doing this, Larry? I mean, I'm just curious.
Wait, what?
He said you were going to bring a pair and put them up on the screen. I mean...
Yeah, come on,
a pair of breasts?
I don't know.
What's the recipe? Good Lord.
So,
all right. Definitely an after show time.
Yep. All right. I got to run for a couple minutes and then, I'll come back with that recipe. Good night.
and the main reason he says he's got to run for a couple of minutes is because he's not physically capable of running for more than that.
Yes. All right. Well, I think I'm gonna end this show. We can go to the after show, but I've posted the link in case anybody'd like to join us, and we can talk about what Canadians do on Christmas Day. I'm sure they're burning crucifixes. I have no idea what's going on, but we'll learn all together in the after show.